up, guys? Eric Moore here, Fort Worth, Texas. Just got the new Discmania PD3. Got this thing because we got a lot of wind out here in Texas, a lot of strong wind, and I've been wanting a disc that can fight like the most Texas or Kansas of headwinds. Something that I can trust, something I know is not going to turn over on me. It's always going to come back, and I'm hoping this is going to be the one. So what I'm going to do today is test it against some of the other more stable discs in my bag. I've got the Discmania Cloudbreaker, Prodigy D1 750G. I've got the Budapest Dynamic Discs Defender here, a pretty beat-in enforcer, and this Warhorse I got from a Red River tournament. Haven't thrown this much, but I know it's pretty stable, so we're gonna throw them all. Let's see how beefy this one really is. All right, guys, we're gonna get right into it with the Prodigy D1 750G. I'm gonna throw these in the order that I think they're gonna be the least to most overstable. This one's supposed to be pretty stable, but I don't know if I got a bad run or I don't throw a lot of Prodigy, so let me know. Is 750G more or less stable than the 400G? I'm not real sure. I'm gonna try to throw these all pretty similar, flat, maybe a little bit of hyzer. So yeah, let's start with the D1. Let's see how it goes. So kind of what I expected. That one doesn't really stand up as well the headwind as I expected when I first bought it. So I don't know if you can hear it on the camera, but it's about a steady 18 to 20 mile an hour wind out here. Gusts are coming a little bit harder, so I chose a dead headwind on purpose to really test this this PD3 out the best I can. So let's go Cloudbreaker. All right, released the Cloudbreaker a little bit low, but still had a good flight, still came back. These aren't cut rolling into this headwind, which is what I want. I don't want discs that are gonna cut roll into this 20 mile an hour headwind. So I'm gonna try the enforcer out here. This one started out pretty stable for me when I first bought it, but over time I've actually started really using it for the thumber a lot more. So I'm getting a lot of sharp edges into the ground and beating this thing in pretty good. So I haven't trusted it as much in the headwinds. This will be good practice to see if it still flies as true as the enforcers start out. So about what I expected with the enforcer. Like I said, pretty beat in. I threw it pretty flat, I think, maybe a little bit Anheuser, but it felt flat. Turned and never really came back for me. So I got the Budapest Edition 2019 Dynamic Discs Defender here. This is an Fusion plastic. Brand new. I'm actually expecting this to fly pretty well. Try out the Warhorse. I don't know if this is west side. Yeah, it's a west side disc. I've only thrown this Warhorse like twice, so I'm expecting it to be pretty stable. This is one of their more stable discs. So about what I expected there. Warhorse started pretty flat, but of course a nice fade back to the left. Definitely one of the more stable west side discs I've thrown. On to the true test of this video, the Discmania PD3. Wind's dying down a little bit. I'm hoping it picks up when we throw it here. It's definitely the most stable disc I'm throwing today. I'm gonna try the best I can to throw it flat and out to the right. I'm expecting it to come back. That way when I get some distance measuring later using the U-disc app, I'll be able to have an idea of the true distance of each of these discs. So wind's picking up, let's give the PD3 a shot. Picked up all the discs, walked out all the distances, and noticed a couple things. One, yes, this thing is extremely stable. It's like a brick. It reminds me of the Justice of drivers, basically. Second thing I noticed is throwing into a 20 plus mile an hour headwind is real damaging to the ego. So I'm gonna probably throw some forehands with each of these discs, and then at the end of this video, I'm gonna go to that side of the field and do a 20 mile an hour tailwind and see if I can throw a little bit farther, because as you'll see in the video, these didn't go very far. So time some forehands. All right, we're gonna do these in the same order. We're gonna start with the D1 Prodigy it this much, but it feels a little sharp in the hand. I'm not sure if I like how sharp that feels, but let's see how it flies. Just as I expected, that thing flipped over quite a bit. Wow, yeah, I even threw that on a little bit of hyzer. I probably rolled my wrist a little bit, which does force the disc to kind of turn sooner than it should. But again, the D1 750G Mateo, I don't know, maybe it's supposed to be less stable than the 400, or maybe I'm throwing it wrong, but that disc doesn't seem near as stable as I expected it to be. Nonetheless, we're going to go Cloudbreaker forehand here. So that one turned over quite a bit as well. I'm starting to think my forehands might be traveling farther than my backhands. But anyways, let's go enforcer here. I'm expecting this thing to probably turn into a thrower, so we'll see. Put that thing on a ton of hyzer, knowing it flipped over pretty hard last time, although it slipped out early. But even with the amount of hyzer and the amount of early release, that thing still wanted to turn all the way over on me. I won't be throwing that for forehands into a headwind anytime soon. Going defender here. This one actually feels pretty good in the hands. I'm really interested to see how it flies. Defender's pretty stable. I kind of like that. I threw that a little bit nose up, so it flared out a little sooner than expected. But I'm surprised to see that defender, how stable it is. So time for the Warhorse. All right, that flew pretty far. That might be the farthest throw I've had today. Really, again, I don't know if it's the wind or what, but my backhands aren't going near as far as my forehands today, which is atypical for me. But nonetheless, PD3 Discmania, the reason you're all here. Let's try it on a forehand. All right, didn't go very far, but it was stable. Let's go measure them. All right, guys, so again, learned a couple things there. PD3, extremely stable. Anyone who's throwing into a straight dead headwind, highly recommend the PD3. Dynamic disc defender and the west side Warhorse actually held up pretty well. I was able to get more distance out of the Warhorse and the defender than the PD3, but like I said, I've had experience with the Trilogy plastic, and it does tend to get flippier at a quicker rate than some of the other ones. So I'm interested to see if the PD3 does the same thing. If I'm going into a 20+ mile-an-hour headwind, probably pulling the PD3 out. So thanks for sticking around. If you want to stick around a little bit longer, I'm going to go to that side of the field and throw some tailwind shots, because most of my discs went like maximum 350, which is kind of disheartening for me. I feel like I probably have 400+ power. So maybe I was trying so hard to keep it low and that's why they didn't go as far, or maybe I just don't throw that far. We're about to find out though. All right, that was a good throw.